Allison Hellegers, have you ever seen a flying saucer, and do you believe in them?
I surely do believe in them. I love stargazing, so there's been many a time where I'm like, what's that? And I've hoped that it was like a flying saucer. I think I have a pretty big imagination, and also just think that we are such a speck of dust in the universe. And definitely there's other things out there. So I don't know. I believe all that stuff, but I don't have the answers to what they are. I just know that there's a lot of things out there that I don't know about.
I tell you what, 3-5 years from now, we're going to do this again. I'm going to ask you more about agenting, wisdom perspective, and then hopefully you'll have the answers about flying saucers as well. It's going to be a heck of an episode.
I'll have my friend, the alien, so we'll just hang out together.
Let me ask you this, because I know that we're running near the end of our time together, but something that fascinates me, and hopefully it fascinates the esteemed audience, is this idea of trying to evaluate an author for a career, because you said you're not looking just for one book, 2 books, you want the whole thing. How do you go about evaluating an author beyond just the submission that you've received?
Well, I tend to ask the author what else they're working on. I sometimes will ask for other books, or just, I want to have a sense of what they're looking for. I want to feel kind of creatively connected to them in more than just one way. I think, anyone can kind of attach themselves to a book and get excited about one book, but you really want to be looking for people whose careers you can help, and you can take them to different places and different levels. So I always just find that a phone conversation really helps to just see how our chemistry works together, and to see if we kind of speak the same language. And I think that that's the best way for me to get to know someone, and to see, if I want to be working with them beyond just this one book that I've fallen for.
So to help out all of those esteemed audience members who are about to get excited emails from you saying, I love your manuscript, let's talk. How should they go about preparing for the call? What are some good tips to make sure that they're going to set themselves up for a successful call and not torpedo this thing right there at the finish line?
They can't. They just have to be themselves. So they shouldn't try hard to be anyone else. And I just want to talk to them. That's all. So just come completely like you're just ready to talk to a friend, and to talk about business and your career and where you want to be and ideas. That's really it.
As far as meeting authors at conferences, now that you're talking with them, evaluating them over the phone, evaluating them through queries, what are the best things that you're seeing authors doing, and what are some of the worst things that you're seeing them do?
Well, similar, I think I'm very drawn to the queries where people can somehow insert their personality into the query. When you're just kind of explaining a story and it feels like a very sort of rote description, maybe it's a good description, but I'm like, who's describing this? I kind of want to hear the author's voice in the description of the book. I want, even if it's fiction, especially if it's fiction, I want to hear why they were writing it, why they were so excited about it, and why they're the best ones to be telling us about this book and to be, giving us this great story. So, I think just being yourself in the letter, and being succinct, and I've been seeing a lot of really great queries. I've been seeing a lot of queries that just feel like either somebody else wrote them, or like, I don't know if some people are like, oh, I will say, I've noticed on your bio that you like this. type of book. So here's this book for you. It just feels very it feels very tight. And I just want it to feel loose and natural.
So like a form email where they maybe change the one line because now it's you instead of the last 10 agents they sent it to.
Yeah. And that's okay as long as you still have somehow infused your personality. And I do tend to really tune in if somebody has looked me up and is like, I saw that you did this book, or I noticed that you did this. And a lot more people do that than I thought would do it. And I think that when somebody kind of is speaking directly to me, it makes me feel special. And then I feel more focused on looking at their letter.
And obviously, anybody listening to this should put in their query. I absolutely loved hearing you on the Middle Grade Ninja podcast. Outstanding interview. Here's why I think you're great.
Yeah.
The trend I'm hoping to get started. I want agents to not be able to open their inbox without seeing it. That's my dream.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, well, you know what? How about Inperson? What are the most successful approaches or ways for an author to approach you, and what are some less successful ways?
I don't know, actually. I haven't done so much in person. I haven't really yet been to a writer's conference as an agent. So I guess that I'm yet to find out what has worked and what has not worked, but I imagine that I wouldn't love someone to just come up and start pitching me a book. I would like to just have a conversation. And then if they're writing something and we've had a good conversation and they take my card or I offer my card, then they can sort of pitch to me. So I think that if that makes sense, I'm, more interested in hearing from people through the normal channels of a query letter. Or having a good conversation and then that leading to a query letter.
So if I come up to you and I have a terrible conversation, I tell you that I think Succession is the worst TV show ever. So I'm right away off to a bad start. And then I proceed to be incredibly rude. But my pitch is unbelievably brilliant and my manuscript makes you weep tears of happiness. What are my chances of gaining representation?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the material. It's all about falling in love with the material. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it or a wrong way to be. I mean, I honestly just think that everyone needs to just be themselves and work on confidence and work on, figuring out why they want to be an author, why they want to write a book. And if they love writing a book, then they need to continue to write a book and learn as much as they can about the craft and keep going. So, yeah, I think I'm not going to necessarily hold any grudges or make anyone feel uncomfortable. Just want to read good books and represent good authors.
What a hopeful thing to hear that fills me with optimism. You can say something dumb, shoot yourself in the foot, and so long as you're doing the work, you might still be all right. That's great. Yeah. This is good news.
I mean, I say dumb things all the time. People say them, nobody's perfect. So I do understand that it's hard to be a person in the world. It is. And I don't know, just let's just be real and have a real conversation and let's figure out if this is going to work. And that's really, I do feel like I found an agency that supports that exactly. So there's not any we have to hit this target number. You must sell. I mean, a lot of agencies do have that kind of feel. And at Stamola, it's let's find some great books. Let's make people who are artists really be able to have a career. Let's put things out there that are inspiring and different and exciting. So that is, what I hope to continue doing.